Did you resolve to enjoy life more this year? That was the top resolution for 2016.
A getaway could go a long way to making that happen, especially when your destination is one of the most beautiful places in the world, Hawaii.
Love it. Leisure travel specialist Diane McVicker returns from the vacation store in the cruise company. Good to see you, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
Good morning.
I love Hawaii. One of my
Yes.
favorite places in the world. Maui was the top place to visit in the United States, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what is it? What are the different ways to enjoy a vacation on the Hawaiian Islands? Because there's so many, there's a few different islands you can visit.
Lots of different ways you can do it, whether you just want a land-based, you might just want to go to one particular island like Maui, for instance, or maybe you want to kick it up and do maybe 2 or 3. But if you do that, you're not going to do it in 7 days. You want to do it at least for 10 because you have the inner island air, that kind of thing.
Do you need to see different islands to enjoy the vacation, or can you just stick to one
Not
island?
necessarily. I mean, it all pretty much looks the same, but some of the islands offer different things. Like the big island of Hawaii will offer you Mauna Kea is one of the most beautiful areas for stargazing in the world, the most clear. You've got ancient temples there. You've got the volcanoes. You can do a bike ride down the mountain. Now, that's scary. You'd think that would be easy. You're going downhill. You're white-knuckling. I've kind of done one of those before. It's frightening.
Hands on the brakes.
Maui, you've got the whale watching, you've got the road to Hana, you've got the beautiful waterfalls. But if you really want to be really, really quiet and not do a lot of action, you want to go to Kauai. It's the Garden Island. Absolutely beautiful, very, very quiet. There's not a whole lot of action there, but the views are outstanding.
Oh, Diane.
And these views are all over
trips.
Hawaii, though.
Look at that.
All over. Now, maybe Honolulu is not necessarily the place you want to go. It's like going to Los Angeles, but it is. You do need to want to spend a little time there because of Pearl Harbor.
Yes, and my husband loves going to Waikiki, and because he wants that experience, for a couple of nights anyway, to go and be where all the movers and shakers are and be part, and then go
Just
somewhere else to a resort.
And then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like
and
Maui,
really enjoy what you think. Now, this is Honolulu, but you really want to enjoy what you envision Hawaii to be. The flowers, the waterfalls, just the beautiful foliage. But you're going to see it no matter what island. Now, here's a way to go on a cruise ship. This is Norwegian. They are the only cruise line that will do a 7-day around the island. So they've got the market there. So you will pay a little bit more for a 7-day, but you get to see all of the islands.
That's cool.
That'd be a different way to see it.
There are other ways to do it, though. There are 14 days from the United States. Less expensive by far than this one for 14 days. So you're doubling up your trip, and I'll tell you, that's a really great way to see it. Granted, you've got 4 days there and you've got 4 days coming back on the water, but wow, what a great experience. And then you're not spending the air cost to get there. You've got one of my favorites is the one from Vancouver. 4 days over, 7 days island, fly home. So that's an 11-day trip, and that is outstanding. Again, a much better price. And I will tell you a little bit about price since, we're already talking about that. On that 14-day cruise, you can do that for $16.94. I still have that available for March. So
that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
For how much?
$16.94.
Can I tell you, my husband was preparing for a work trip to Hawaii, and he looked at airfare yesterday, and it was almost $1,200 to get there for a one-way flight.
That's horrible.
No, but it's because he's so close out now.
Yes.
So to think about a vacation in March,
yes, you can still
for barely
do it.
More.
Or you can do the one from Vancouver for $15.17. That's 11 nights. That's an outstanding rate.
And that's why when you're looking at Hawaii, I think it's wise to visit with a travel specialist like yourself, because there's so many different ways to see Hawaii.
Exactly.
And depending on what you want, if you want nightlife, you're not going to find that in Maui. You might find that on the Big Island.
Waikiki,
Waikiki, yeah.
A little bit more clubbing going on in Waikiki.
But what about some of the resorts? Because there aren't any finer in the world than some you'll find in Hawaii.
Yeah, and depending on, you can spend staying at some really nice beachside resorts. If you do a combination of Honolulu and Maui, you can do that for about $18.25, including air. And that's staying at the beachfront, beautiful resorts. That is not a bad price, because I can tell you, if you wanted to do that, and I'm talking, this is going to be maybe starting in the fall.
Okay.
You need to pre-plan. People, you need to pre-plan for these trips. These last-minute trips, like your husband's, is going to cost you a fortune.
You can save so much
not
money.
A fortune, but you're going to spend more money than necessary.
And why? Why do plan for it now? It makes so much sense.
It does.
Any other specials we could talk about? What else you got?
Well, we've got the Viewers KMTV cruise going in August.
Where are we going
1st.
on that one, Diane?
That's starting in Budapest.
I said we, like I'm
going.
You are going.
You can come.
You are going for
I'm
sure.
going to go. Budapest to Vilshofen, you are going to hit 5 different countries in a week span. On top of this, you may want to go into Budapest a couple of days early. You might want to end it in Munich for a few days. The cost on that, $29.67. Anyone looking at river cruises know that's a very, very good price.
River
very
cruises
good
are
price.
a luxury way to travel, especially in Europe.
Yes. Your beer, your wine is included on that. Your shore excursions are included on that. So, you know, you're not going to be out of pocket for a whole lot of things.
How is it that you can negotiate? I mean, is that what it is? You're negotiating,
Yeah.
or it's about the relationships you have?
Well,
with
we
those
buy that in
lines?
advance too. We pre-plan this so that we get group rates so that the customer is going to get the best value for their dollar. So yeah, we have to do it that
You've
way.
already done the pre-planning.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now you just need people to take advantage of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if we're planning for 2016, whether we're going on that escorted cruise with you, or we're going to Hawaii, or we're
Right.
going anywhere else,
Right.
you say plan for whatever trip you're taking this year, do it now because it's about the savings.
Yeah. It's a minimum that you put down, and if you plan it right, you can make payments through the year so it doesn't have that ouch factor, you know, at the end when we're saying,
And when you're
Final
coming off
payment.
Christmas,
Right.
when you don't have as much to spend.
exactly, Mary,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. You know, everybody is already spending their money elsewhere, so it just makes sense to pre-plan that.
And, you know,
And we
there's
do have people coming in the office looking for Christmas next year, and I love you all.
Right. But there's people out there right now that they're tired of the cold weather and they didn't think about planning something
Yeah.
for either later this month or in February. Are there still options for
Yeah.
those people?
There are still vacations out there. You're going to pay a little bit more, but if you want to get out, you know, we're going to find a way for you to do that. And if you can be flexible on your dates, we can absolutely make that happen for
Well,
you.
the vacation store and the cruise company, Diane, is one of their leisure travel specialists there. When we say specialist, she has been all over the world. She's seen it, she's done it, and she can therefore plan your dream vacation instead of you trying to figure it out. And the savings are tremendous. You can call 339-6800, and then that address on the screen, if you're familiar with the business and you think that's a typo, they moved just a few months ago, so they are now near
come see our new
141st and Q.
office.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Diane.
Diane.
Thank
Maybe
you.
wanna go back
and
to
Happy
Hawaii.
New Year. Oh,
I do.
you have
Yeah,
to go again.
I do,
should have
yeah.
brought you grass skirt, a grass skirt. Should have seen Mike. We could
I'll
have seen Mike do the
second
hula.
that, Diane. That would have been
Next
fun.
time, next time.
I want to
Thanks,
see
Diane.
Nene in a grass skirt.
No, you
Next.
don't.